G'day guys, Tim here from Grad Tests. This is another quick help video in our tips and tricks series. And this video is all about teaching you to give yourself enough time to take your psychometric tests. So remember, this playlist, this series, is all about mitigating risk, being a little bit kind of paranoid and thinking about all the sort of things that can go wrong when you're taking psychometric tests and reducing the chance of all those little risk factors as much as possible. This is going to help you optimize your chance of passing the psychometric tests and ultimately landing your dream job, which is what this is all about. So first thing to mention is that when you are invited to take a test by a company, you'll receive an email. This email will come from either the company itself or the test provider. Now in this email there will be a deadline within which you must have completed the test. A couple of things about this. First thing to say is the company, when they set up the test, may choose, let's say, the 15th of March as a deadline, and that's what's going to be in your invitation email. They may later on, for whatever reason, decide to bring that deadline forward to the 7th of March, let's say. They won't communicate this with you though. So take that deadline as like a soft deadline and assume that it could happen earlier, just for risk mitigation purposes. So give yourself at least a week buffer or something like that. Don't wait until the deadline to do the test. Generally speaking, I would recommend taking the test sooner rather than later. The reason for this is twofold. So one is, if you're a grad or an intern and you're going for these roles, probably all the companies are running their recruitment processes at the same time. So you might be applying for 20, 30, 40, 50 different roles, and you might have to take tests for 20% of those. That's going to be a lot of tests that you're taking. You're also going to be advancing to the interview stage, hopefully, with some of these companies. And all this coincides with when you're taking your own mid-semester exams, when you're maybe also working part-time. So you're going to have a lot on your plate, and I would just suggest getting these out of the way as soon as you can, assuming that you're well prepared and you've practiced a lot and you know exactly what to expect. The other reason is that companies may have a quota of candidates that they're going to take to the next round, which is usually the interview round. So maybe they're going to say, okay, let's take the top 50 students from the test round. Well, if they exhaust that a week before the test deadline closes, that's it, they're done. They've got their 50 candidates they're going to take through to interview. So if you take it after that point, it doesn't really matter how high you score, they may simply not accept you because they've met their quota. Once it actually comes to taking the test, and bear in mind a couple of things. So you're going to want to allow some extra time to take the practice test. So let's say in the test invitation email, they tell you, okay, this test takes 20 minutes. Add on at least another 5 or 10 minutes to take the practice test. So this is going to be a really short test, 3 to 5 questions normally. They're going to actually give you the answers. And this is going to help get you in the zone to take the real test because it's going to be of the exact same style. And it's really useful to take this once, maybe twice even, just to get yourself really ready. The other thing is to allow time to take a break between the tests. So what will often happen is you might be asked to take a suite of different tests, maybe a numerical reasoning, a verbal reasoning, an inductive reasoning, a personality questionnaire. So you're not going to want to take all of these back to back. That would be very hard, right? You wouldn't take a economics exam and then a finance exam and then an accounting exam in a row. That would be mentally taxing. Each of these tests is stressful and it's difficult, and there's a lot riding on them. This is the chance to potentially interview for your dream job, so you know how important they are. You're going to want to take at least a 10 to 20 minute break between each of the tests. That'll just help you get in the mind for the next test, because they test different skills, and really just allow you to refresh a little bit, go and get a cup of coffee, something like that. So there's some quick tips on how to give yourself enough time to really do as well as possible with these psychometric tests. So if you've got any questions or comments, as always, leave them in the thread below. And like anything else in life, the best way to improve is through practice. And you can head on over to gradtest.com.au, where we've got plenty of free practice tests for you to really improve your score and maximize the chance of you passing your next psychometric test.